spoken ink. A warning to cab drivers. Read before you sign for a replacement taxi. This piece is being shared for one reason, to warn other cab drivers before they find themselves in the same situation. Because what looks like help after a non-fault accident can quickly become something very different. Not a favor, not a courtesy, a contract, and a risk. A London cab driver, renting day-to-day through a garage, was involved in a non-fault incident and needed to stay on the road. A replacement taxi was arranged quickly. Paperwork was signed. The vehicle turned up. And, like most drivers in that position, the focus was simple. Get back to work, protect the income, keep moving. Only later did the real problem emerge. What had been signed was not just a straightforward replacement arrangement. It was a credit hire agreement. That matters because in a credit hire setup, the vehicle is not simply free. The hire company seeks to recover its charges from the at-fault side. But if recovery fails or is reduced, the driver can still be exposed under the agreement. The rate at the center of it. The replacement taxi was charged at £550 per day. Set that beside the ordinary reality of the trade. The average weekly taxi rent in London is around £340 to £370 a week. So the comparison is stark. A driver might normally get on the road for roughly £50 a day equivalent. Instead, this arrangement was put through at £550 a day. That gap is the heart of the problem, because under UK law, higher costs must be reasonable. The real dispute. The issue now is not only that the daily charge is being challenged. The bigger question being asked is this: why didn't the driver just go and rent his own taxi at the normal weekly rate? That is where the dispute really sits. On paper, the argument is simple. If a standard rental taxi was available and affordable, why enter into a high-cost credit hire agreement? But the driver's position is equally clear. He says he was never given that real choice. He says the taxi was sent out, the paperwork was put in front of him, and the process moved in one direction. No proper discussion of going elsewhere, no comparison of costs, no genuine alternative presented. And that distinction matters, because this stops being about a driver making an informed decision. It becomes about a driver being placed under pressure into a route that was effectively chosen for him. When the choice is the issue, that is the warning here. Not every driver in this position is calmly weighing up options. These situations happen under pressure. You've had an accident. You're off the road. You're losing money by the hour. And when a replacement taxi is presented as the solution, most drivers will do exactly the same thing. Sign, trust the process, and get back to work. Later, when the claim is challenged, the situation is flipped. Why didn't you just do it cheaper yourself? But if that option was never properly offered, that question becomes something else entirely. The financial scrutiny that follows. Once the costs are disputed, attention often turns to the driver's finances, bank statements, income, outgoings, all examined to determine whether a cheaper option could have been taken. This is where drivers can find themselves under intense financial scrutiny, with everyday spending questioned in hindsight. Why this hits renters harder? There is another important layer. This driver does not own his taxi, he rents, which means he is already paying £340, well, $370 per week just to work. His margins are tighter from the outset. His financial flexibility is limited. Yet the system does not pause for that. The same agreements apply. The same expectations apply. The same risks apply. The warning. This is not about naming individuals or focusing on one case. It's about awareness, because the real risk is not just the daily rate. The real risk is this. You may later be asked why you didn't go and get your own taxi cheaper, even if you say that option was never truly given to you. That is the trap. Not just cost, process, pressure, lack of informed choice. Final word. This driver does not want sympathy. He wants drivers warned. After an accident, the conversation shouldn't just be, where's my replacement taxi? It should be, what am I signing? Am I liable if this goes wrong? What are the normal market rates? Can I source my own cab instead? Have I actually been given that choice? Because once the paperwork is signed, the situation can change quickly. And by then, the replacement taxi may already be costing far more than the accident ever did.